Another piece of stereo equipment. This is a BSR EQ actually, and it's a little bit different in that it came with a remote control. So obviously this is probably 80s technology, but graphic EQ with a digital display, still sold for $180. I got it from my neighbor down the street. I bought a bunch of his old stereo equipment at a moving sale. So I might have $15 into this. This is another Mustang part. This is a door sill plate. It's I found it in this torn up package, but it's still new. It does have a little bit of a bend there, but this still sold for $50. And I've got a whole stack of used ones. I put those up for sale as well for $20 each. This is a 1977 Monte Carlo model. Pretty simplistic, but some nice detail work was done to it. So this still sold for $50. This is a vintage Mechanics Creeper. It's made by Wagner, and it's pretty beat up. The headrest obviously is all fabric's all torn, no cushion left to it, but it still has the wheels. And I saw value in it at a garage sale, and 2 years later somebody else did too, and they made a best offer of $50 for it. I think I paid just two. Well, my Wi-Fi is not connecting on this rainy day very well. But again, this is a Wagner Mechanics Creeper, sort of a low boy, and this sold for $50. One more time, the 110 film sold for $8, down to 3 left. This is a Panasonic AM/FM stereo receiver. These are kind of low-end, early 70s models. This one is in pretty good shape, a little rough on some edges, but overall pretty good condition. I cleaned all the switches and everything on it, so a little bit of work into it. Paid $5 at a garage sale last year, and finally sold today for $60. A little porcelain teacup, and it's from a ghost town in North Dakota called Omemee. This is Omemee on the Sioux. Omemee was known for a railroad crossing of the Sioux Line and the Great Northern. I know something about this because my grandparents were from this town, and I used to go to it when I was a kid. And very delicate piece, gold trim on the rim. Amazing that it survived, although it does have a small crack underneath the handle. But a gentleman from Bottineau, North Dakota, which is the big city up by the Canadian border next to where Omemee used to be. And he's a collector, and he's going to pick this up personally, which is nice. I don't have to worry about breakage, although I've never had a broken mug, but this one's very delicate. And this sold for $80. This is a trucker style hat, although it is corduroy. And it has an embroidered patch on it, BSE, the Border States Electric. I had to look that up, I didn't know that. And I just picked it up with a bunch of other hats at a garage sale, and it finally sold after about 6 or 7 months for $20 on Bonanza. This is an oddball piece of stereo equipment. It's an ADC dynamic subsonic synthesizer. From what I've read, it basically creates a subwoofer effect for old stereo systems. Not highly regarded in the audio circles I follow, but this did sell for $60. I got it from the neighbor down the street with a bunch of other stereo equipment. This is a vintage Akai tape deck. It's a model GXC 730D. It's got all sorts of bells and whistles. This was very high-end back in the late 70s. And I obtained this along with a bunch of Marantz equipment that sold for a real high dollar. So this is just kind of an extra. And I had somebody message me in broken English, although their address said that they were in the United States. And the message would say something like, "You drop $130 and I buy. I await reply." Well, I replied with a $150 counter, and they wanted more money off. I just ignored it, and then this morning they bought it, $150. This is a leather-bound or faux leather-bound padded 8-track tape case with some 8-tracks in it. Now this is probably 3 or 4 years listed. I think I bought these in Arizona, and so I finally got an offer on these of $15, and it's from the guy that with the broken English that bought the cassette deck. I'm wondering if he's not a go-between. He's located in California. Perhaps he's a buyer and shipper for overseas buyers. In any case, these are hard to sell, but I finally got $15 for them. I came across this for a quarter at a garage sale. I knew right away what it was. It's a pick guard off a arch top style guitar, and it doesn't have any markings to say what guitar it came off of, but I included measurements in the listing, and it finally sold for $35. Another part from my original Mousetrap game from 1963 sold. Just this little blue crank sold for $6. Every now and then you get lucky and come across a item like this. It's a Beautyware canister set, still new in the box. The box was open, so I was able to list it with pictures of the item. And it's your typical mid-century canister set for your countertop. And this sold for $90. I think I had to pay $5 for it at the garage sale. This is a Water Warrior Python 2 glorified squirt gun. Found this at a garage sale last year, but it took until the warm weather this year to sell, and it sold for $25. This trucker hat, apropos, is a Freightliner branded hat. It's in great shape. I found this over a year ago, but it looks unworn, and so I held out for $30 and finally got it.